Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I have the greatest news for you. Thundercats Roar has been officially cancelled and I'm very happy about it. The reason why I'm talking about it now is I feel like this whole circle has come to an end and I need to kind of get my thoughts, my frustrations out, everything. So first of all, I was notified about this by Clownfish TV. I have some sort of points that I want to bring up that they brought up as well. So, and also if you want to go check out their video, it's on there and I'll link it in the description down below. So let's begin. First of all, we have a Twitter tweet from Marley Halpern Grazer. I hope I got your name right. If not, I apologize. So it says here, today Cartoon Network aired the Thundercats Roar episode Groon. There's a Thanksgiving episode airing tomorrow, which is pretty much happened, and a Christmas special on the way, but this was the final episode we produced. That means Thundercat guest stars in and wrote a song for the last episode, so that is cool. So this has now been officially cancelled, and dear God is good. Now, yeah, I recorded my reaction originally to this, and there was something that got me angry, but I'm not going to talk about that. Maybe in another video whenever I feel like it. So, this Twitter, they keep saying, I'd be pretty much surprised if we got to make any more, you never know. So I'd like to say that I had a great time working on the show, and I'm really proud to have been part of such an amazing, talented team. There is no talent, like literally, there is no talent in Thundercats Roar. It is literally a shit show for pretty much like dunking on previous audiences, destroying everything and saying like, hey, we are far superior to you, ha 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 ha. So it says, seriously, every artist on the show, starting with Victor, right, and going all the way down to our revisionists, was so talented and it made me physically ill. I'd look at new art and say, that is so good that I am sick now. Why would you post that? Why would you say something like that? Because to me, that just says that you looked at the artwork and went, oh God, I'm physically ill. I can't handle this. Like, I wouldn't have put that in there. Like, I would not have even said that. Go, I am forever grateful to Joan, who came on board as our only staff writer and proceeded to write nearly every outline for the entire season, and then wrote the scripts for some of the absolutely best episodes, including the Xmas one. That's on the way. Thanks, Joan. So, pretty much, that was the main thing in this. Okay, so let's continue talking about all of this. So there was an article published by comicbook.com, and this was back in May, and it says, Thundercats Roar director speaks out against haters. Now, to me, this entire show was pretty much hate. Like, they hated the original, the cartoon one, the original 80s one, and obviously the 2011 one. And you could obviously see how this all went because of how they treated, like, you had that Teen Titans episode where they went in and basically said that, you know, this isn't what you expected, this isn't what you wanted, we're going to do what we want. Haters going to hate, effectively. And that was pretty much it. You know, it completely went against everything that Thundercats was back in the day. And the fact is that they got Larry Kenney, the voice of Lino, to come back and be like, hey, you know, your opinions, if everyone thinks that, you know, this is bad, then your opinion is shit. And that's literally what it was. And you have shit minds. And I feel kind of like sad because I wouldn't have got Larry to say that. I would have got him to say, not everyone is going to like this, but, you know, people have got their own opinions, rather than getting him to say, hey, call all your fans shit, because they're the ones helping support this, and they're the ones that are going to be watching as well, and putting money into this project, etc, etc. In this article by comicbooktv.com, I'm directing Victor's Thundercats series. Hate all you want, but this show rocks. That didn't stand well in time, did it there? And obviously, with a project, you're going to be going, yeah, I really want the most of this. I really want this. But you have to kind of consider the fact that if you're going to piss on fans, and this show was mean. Like, it was, hey, we're going to try and get rid of masculinity in this, and, you know, get rid of that male element in this and make like most of the Thundercats stupid. You know, Lion-O being the main one in this, and it really shows that. I don't think, personally, I've never seen this in Thundercats, that there's been a hint of male masculinity, like, you know, males are better than this, or males can do this, rah, rah, rah. It was very balanced, and it had strong female characters, it had strong characters in general, it had strong male characters, and it's like, toxic masculinity must be put out. But this was not the cartoon to do it. This was not it. If you're going to stamp that out, make a different show. Don't use Thundercats to be like, oh, well, everyone remembers this, but you've all poopy people, you know, poop. It just generally kind of irritates me. And then when I was watching Clownfish TV, they mentioned, and I have read this as well, is Victor Courtwright, who is the animated director, whatever he is on the show. He turned around and said it was the best thing. He wanted this version of Thundercats to be the main one. But he hated the show. He hated Thundercats because of his brother loved it. So he wanted to destroy Thundercats. Like, why? Because I imagine that, you know, Victor goes, right, ha ha ha, I destroyed Thundercats for you. And his brother just goes, and? So, I don't care. And Victor goes, oh, shit. It just, to me, it doesn't make sense. And Warner Brother hiring someone that hates the show is... Why would you do that? Because you want to make money. You've spent millions of dollars in this, and you're just giving it to someone that just wants to destroy it. Wouldn't you want it to kind of like to grow? And for what it is, what they got Larry to say, like Thundercats Roar was apparently a worthy successor to Thundercats. It got one season, bad ratings, bad writing, bad humor. You know, Thundercats got 4 seasons. You didn't get past 1, so how is that a worthy successor? How is that a worthy successor? When you only get 1 season, I'm glad it's ended. The nightmare is over. We're not going to see some horrible designed characters that are drawn really badly, and you know the whole stupid humor. It worked for Teen Titans Go, and the only reason why it worked for Teen Titans Go is because they took the piss out of themselves and they acknowledged it. Now, if you watch all the way up to the episode before you have the guy going, oh, we're going to reboot everyone, you can see that, you know, the show is horrible because it's taking the piss. But when it says to the audience, hey, we're just mocking ourselves, it becomes a lot better. The film is great, the characters become more bearable, and then you understand it. Thundercats Roar, it didn't do that. It was mean. It decided to say, hey, anyone in the 80s, go fuck yourselves. And that's what really kind of irritated, because, you know, why would you want to piss off a lot of fans? Just why not? But considering like some of the other elements is like Warner Brothers and all that really need to kind of look into what is good. Like your old school animations are perfect. Like I really love the old school designs for like Batman, Superman, etc., etc. You've then got stuff like anime, how that one is just dominating. It's dominating everything at the moment, because they know how to tell a story. They know how to respect original stuff, or they have better drawings, like animation, and it's more engaging. You could have done Thundercats Roar better, made it something different, called it something like Cats Thunder Roar, but then write it better. You don't have to continuously piss on a lot of things. And I've noticed this all the time when it comes to a certain generation, where it's like, oh, we're gonna get those millennials, we're gonna get those boomers, we're gonna do it because we're better. When you look at this sort of animation style and you see this like big eyes and, you know, horrible like this drawings on it, it feels to me like Cartoon Network is going is what is popular with animation. So you saw this with Adventure Time. Adventure Time had a very unique style when it came out. So then you had Steven Universe, Star, and the Forces of Evil, and stuff like that kind of followed that sort of trend, because Cartoon Network were like, hey, we really want this. So then you kind of see this going on like with Teen Titans Go. So therefore, they kind of really wanted to kind of capture the same or similar sort of artwork and then be like, hey, you need to go watch this. And this irritated me because it's lazy. It is not a good way of drawing. Like when you look at the originals, like anything from the 80s, that was stunning for what they had to do and how much work they had to do. Like, you know, it looked proper like a humanoid. But this one, it just feels like it was a joke, and especially since the writing in that, where, you know, either the boys, mainly Lionel, is an idiot, Tiger is very like stuck up himself, Panthro, he was an okay character, you know, and that sort of thing, like, it just didn't reminisce anything in the show. And as Victor has said multiple times, this is the show that he wanted, so he wanted shit. He wanted a big pile of shit. Going back to the whole thing of, this is the show that I wanted. You didn't want this sort of show when you were younger. You've seen what's popular, and you've tried to recreate it multiple times, and it doesn't sit right. Make your own show rather than copying stuff like OKKO, whatever, you know, that sort of animation, you know, or other styles. Make something unique, and you had this big opportunity to do it, but instead, rather than making a decent cartoon, you went and pissed off a load of the fans. I get really sick and tired of all these new cartoons that come up, and it's stuff where it's trying to stick it to the man, try to make them feel bad, like the whole thing of, this show's not for you. So rather than alienating a load of people and going, this show's not for you, you millennial, it's like, okay, but you know, you've piqued my interest. So why then alienate me completely so that you can have this whole thing where you can be like, huh, I stuck it to the man today and therefore he didn't care. It just baffles my mind why you have to start doing this with like cartoons and stuff. And like even with movies and shows, again, it's the same sort of thing. It's not for you. So anyway, I'm kind of going on to like a major rant on this. I'm glad that this is over. I'm glad that this show has been cancelled, and it means that, you know, Warner Brothers saw this, they made the decision on, like, it's not working, it's not producing the ratings, it's costing us millions, and that's it. And you know, they've taken it. If you were to reboot Thundercats again, I would look at the source material again, look at 2011, and maybe continue that one. You know, actually look over it and go, how can we make this great? Or don't touch any of these brands at all, because they're either in the past and they're fine as they are. You don't need to reboot everything because you've got the IP. Start making something new for everyone to enjoy. And this is to pretty much every company. If you know your head person, your person that is directing to writing to animating all of this, turn around, ask them if they really like this, and if they say, no, I hate it, get rid of them. Because at the end of the day, you want money. You don't want some person that has an agenda going, I hate this, I am going to get rid of this, and I'm going to make sure that this is completely and utterly messed up. Because to me, that just shows that you're throwing money away, and that's not what you want. So it does really irritate me on some levels. Also, it came out saying like Victor never grew up with the show. So his whole statement at the very beginning of that clip, where he's just saying stuff like, oh, I grew up with this, just proves that you lied. Also, with the showrunners, like saying that they liked something when they were kids, so therefore they wanted to kind of see whatever show back in the day as like this. Just think what you like is not necessarily what everybody likes. Like, to me, I'm not a huge fan of Steven Universe, so I wouldn't take on a show like Steven Universe and then redo it in the way that I think should be in like a certain style. It just doesn't work. Also, the dumb downing of pretty much most cartoons now is, I find it very insulting to the younger audience. At the end of the day, when I grew up, we had shows, obviously Thundercats, He-Man and stuff, where they told you stories, they had action, they showed you stuff. It feels now that when you're making a cartoon that is either universally loved by all, it has to be dumbed down, and that's it. It's like, oh, we have to put in a load of fart jokes, or we have to put in a load of yelling, and we have to do this just so kids will go like, ha ha ha, it's so funny. When most of them probably won't even laugh at it. But it feels like because you're doing all of this all the time, that you think it's funny and that's the way it is. So rather than when we've had amazing shows like the original Teen Titans, as in from Cartoon Network, or you've had really great shows over time that have drawn in so many fans from all ages, But then when you look at stuff like Teen Titans Go, even though it's okay now, but back in the day it's just like loud noises and to make people laugh. Even with Power Rangers as well, you try and put that element in where it doesn't work. And a lot of people just go, I just don't care, it's got to stay in because I find it funny. And again, with Victor hating Thundercats, why did you put him in charge? This could have been a great show, and it could have been something so funny that it was different. But no, you decided to annoy all the people from the 80s who grew up with this and loved it. You then decided to really rub it in with this Teen Titans Go crossover, and now you've pulled the plug. So I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering on what's going to happen. Like, are they all going to go? So yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm glad that this is over. I'm happy that we're not going to see this ever again. And yeah, and again, which still gets me mad, to the guy or the person who decided to write in that Panthro's skeleton remains with air, go fuck yourself. I have no idea why you did that, but it still gets me really angry. So I'm going to leave it there. If you've enjoyed this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.